and she put the wand on me and I was like, where's the baby? Hi ladies! Okay, so today Channel Mum have asked me to do a video all about baby scans, and I love this topic so much. I've had so many different baby scans, it is unreal. On Channel Mum we have a very special lady called Lisa, and she is amazing at guessing the gender of your baby using like a skull theory, a nub theory. If you've got no idea what I'm talking about, go onto the website, I will leave it down below, it's channelmum.com, and then there'll be like a / and it'll be something, and I'll just put it right here and also down below in the comments so you can click on it and get her to guess the gender of your baby. How exciting is that? Like literally before you get to your 20-week scan, she could kind of tell you what she thinks that you're having, so it's absolutely amazing. So when I had my baby scans, I had two different types. I had a really positive experience and a really bad negative experience. Now the very first baby scan I ever had was negative. It literally nearly made me cry, and it wasn't because there was anything wrong with the baby, it was just the way the sonographer was speaking to me. I was 19, Matt actually wasn't at the scan with me at the time, I think he was at work. And basically it was a scan just to see how far along I was. I think it was about 10 weeks when I got my first scan with Harry, and she was like, so how many weeks are you? And I was like, I think I'm about 8 because I forgot to add the 2 on. And she was like, well, there's not any point in doing this scan at all then. And I was like, are you kidding? Like, you know when you get that letter and you're just like so excited to get your scan and you're just like there like full bladder as anything. And I was like, well, yeah, seeing as we're here, you might as well just do it. Obviously I didn't say that, but that's what I wanted to say. So I laid on the couch and she put the like wands on me and she was like, oh okay, you're like 10 weeks. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit better then, like don't have a go at me. It wasn't my fault, I didn't even know like when my last period was, for goodness sake. So yeah, she was really horrible to me. I literally walked out and I was like, next time I come in to have my 12-week scan, do not give me her. And the next time I had a lovely lady, she was so sweet. I think Matt came with me to that one, and then we came out with a photo and I will show you. So this is the first scan I had done at about 10 weeks. There's his little head and his little arm and his little feet. That photo was actually not the original photo I got from the NHS. The NHS one, I think I just got rid of it because I was so upset, like they didn't even get a nice photo, and it was just such a negative experience. I think I paid about 65 quid, I went private, so literally a few days later, and then I got that one and she took loads and there was like videos of him like drinking the fluid and everything. It was just so beautiful. If you want to go back and see those videos, they are on my channel, you have to go back and have a little look. It is 12 weeks and 6 days and you can see how big he is and how stretched out he is. He literally did that the entire pregnancy, just used to like really stretch out and be like, I don't care mummy that I'm causing you any pain. And then finally the 20-week scan that again went absolutely perfect, thank goodness. We had a lovely lady and luckily he was fine and everything was perfect with him. My next scan I had was my 4D scan, that was amazing. So because he was being naughty, we didn't get a good photo. We got like one good photo and that was it, and then we had to come back for a free go. So it's nice because then we got to see him again. That's the 4D one we had. That's a little picture of his fist on our second go. Honestly, I would totally recommend getting a 4D one. It is a bit expensive, but if you can afford it, it's just the most amazing thing ever. And then on to my next scan, which wasn't such a positive experience, even though the lady was really nice. So, I don't know if you guys have been following me for this long, but after I had Harry, I had a chemical pregnancy, which obviously doesn't show up on a scan, and then I had my next pregnancy, which was the worst pregnancy I've ever had out of all 6 of my pregnancies. I was literally so sick I couldn't even like get my head out of my hands whilst I was eating dinner, and it was just like the worst sickness in the world. I got put on like different tablets, they didn't work. It was the most horrendous pregnancy ever. And there was obviously something wrong and I just didn't know at the time, so I booked in to have a private scan done, which was around, again, £65. So I went in with a full bladder and she put the wand on me and I was like, where's the baby? And then she was like, how many weeks are you? And I was like, I'm 9 weeks, so like 9.5 weeks. She was like, oh, okay. Started scanning me and then she was like, so how many weeks did you say you were? And I was like, right, why'd you keep asking this? Because I know how many weeks I am, like I track my ovulation really well, like I know how many weeks I am. There must be something wrong. And she was like, well, the baby's measuring small and your womb is measuring really big. And I was like, oh god, what the hell does that mean? So I went and emptied my bladder, and she used an internal probe, which is about this big, but obviously the whole lot doesn't go in. Only about sort of that much goes in, if that. And she said basically the baby's heart stopped beating at 6 weeks, the baby stopped growing, and you are having a missed miscarriage. There was like a whole lot of blood like around the womb. It was not good, and that was my worst miscarriage ever, because I then had to, because it was Christmas Eve, they had to fax across to the early pregnancy unit what had happened. Then she rung me and she said, well, we can't actually do anything, we have to wait like a couple of weeks and then rescan you. And I was like, are you actually kidding? Like, I literally cannot stop throwing up. And she was like, okay, I'll try and fast track you like in 10 days. I was like, that's fine, just anything. So those 10 days were horrible. I had to walk around knowing that my baby had died, and it was just really, really sad. Then I went to the early pregnancy unit where we live, and they scanned me again, and sure enough the baby had died. So they booked me in for a D&C, which is dilation and curettage. If you don't know what that is, they literally just go in and they just suction everything out of your womb and just kind of like clean you all out and just make it all fresh again. That was really hard waking up from that. I bled a lot and I was in a lot of pain. I think as well because I hadn't really researched anything, I just sort of went in a bit blind. I didn't know what to expect. So if you guys are going through that, don't necessarily Google like the actual procedure, but just like get painkillers, get lots of pads and things like that, because it's not very nice. Then after that I got an infection. There was a 1 in 100 chance. I signed a waiver to say that I wasn't going to sue them if I was going to get an infection. 1 in 100 chance, and that was me. Friday night, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was cuddled up on the sofa with Harry and I was like, blimey heck, I'm boiling. So I like stripped my top off and I was like, oh my god, I'm so cold, like get me the blankets back on. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? I kept going hot, cold, hot, cold. And in the end I rung 111 because I just didn't feel very right, and I said like I'd had a D&C, I don't know what's wrong with me. And they said, oh dear, you don't sound very well, I'm going to send an ambulance. And the paramedics, they were lovely. They came in and they took my pulse and it was over 100 beats a minute, which means that I was tachycardic. Like, that's not good. If your heart's beating over 100 beats a minute, it means it's really working hard. So they took me into hospital, they blue lighted me straight to hospital. They put me in the gynae ward and they said, they scanned me and there was like some little tissues left, and they said, we're going to have to give you another D&C, but your womb is too soft. So we're going to have to give you, I think it was like, I had to have at least 4, was it 3 or 4 amounts of antibiotics. They put it straight into my IV, straight into my bloodstream. I was so ill. My temperature was like nearly 40, I think it was about 40 degrees. They were touching me to do my blood pressure and they were like, Mrs. Hounslow, you're so hot, you're so hot. I was like, I know, I really don't feel very well. So then I got put back under again, and before I knew it I was out, and then before I knew it I was back again, and I woke up and I felt so much better. I knew that everything had been properly cleared out, and in myself I just felt a lot better. And then I did a really silly thing because I was on funny painkillers, and I went home and cleaned out the whole of my fridge, and Matt came downstairs because I was screaming because I was about to pass out. I was like, Matt, help me, help me. And he came downstairs like, what the hell? And he's looking at the kitchen and he was like, oh my god, it's so tidy, what are you doing? And I was there like hands and knees, like scrubbing with hot boiling water like all the shelves of my fridge, and I was just completely doolally. So literally 1 month after that I then got pregnant with Charlie, which was an absolute miracle. I cannot believe I even got pregnant with him. It was just a ridiculous miracle. Now Charlie's pregnancy was completely different because I had a sickness bug when I was 6 weeks pregnant. So I went into the gynae ward again and they were like, hey Corrine. And literally I will show you, I had a 6-week scan, and as you can imagine the baby, little Charlie Hounslow, was like that big. Look at that tiny little peanut baby just there, that tiny little dot just there, that's him. Ridiculously tiny. And then I had another scan just to kind of like check that everything was okay. I paid for this one, and again it was around £65, and he was like 9 weeks there, my little baby potato. Right, we're back. Sorry, my 32GB SD card just ran out of battery. You can see how much I filmed for you guys. Where was I? So then my big baby head that I eventually had to push out, there he is there. And then we had a 4D scan, which was absolutely insane because we got really, really clear footage this time. Look at that. You can literally see everything. So yeah guys, if ever you're like umming and ahhing whether you want to get like a 3D or 4D one, then look at the little hand, it's so cute. So basically, when I was pregnant with my boys, I knew that they were boys because, like Lisa, I knew about this nub theory, and it's all about like the angle of the dangle. So like if the nub's like that, then it's a boy, or if it's like more like that, then it's a girl. But you'll have to go and check out the Channel Mum website if you literally have no idea what I'm on about, because it is so interesting. I would absolutely love to know if you guys had any good or bad experiences with scans. Please leave me comments down below. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye ladies!